Welcome to the live stream. It is great to be back with you. Let me know if this sounds good. Audio looks just a little low, so let me know if it's okay on your end. Making some just final adjustments. I apologize. It's been a crazy day and lots going on. We have our Zoom town hall later, and We are going to have a good time with that. If you have not already signed up for that, there's the link on the screen, so you can go over to my webpage under the contact and let me know you want to go. You could also, if I already have your email, you can put it inside the comments tonight. Not your email, but if I already have your email, then you can just put it in the comments. If you haven't already received a Zoom invite, that means I'll need to know that. At 5:30 tonight, we are going to start our Zoom. It won't be live, it won't be recorded. It's a town hall meeting, and we're just gonna hang out together right here in the studio, you wherever you are. And we're gonna get a chance to see each other's faces, have a conversation. Two things we're gonna talk about today. We're gonna talk about a little bit more in depth, the new Media Mountain, and I'll talk a little bit about that here today on the live show, so you have an idea what that's all about. I also would like to know what your new favorite tech is. It doesn't have to be video-based. It could be anything that's your new favorite tech. If it was announced at NAB, if there's something you've learned about it, something you want to share with the group, you'll do that in the Zoom. Save that for the Zoom. And if you can't make the Zoom, then we do them once a quarter. And again, it's just an opportunity for me to have a chance to connect with everyone here that attends the live stream. So just looking in here at the comments, let's just see. Let's put chat on the air. That didn't work. Off the air. Let me fix something here real quick. How about that? And let me just see here. Yeah, let's go ahead and put this on the air here. So welcome to tonight's Tuesday 4 p.m. live stream. If you want to chat, subscribe only chat is enabled. So after you subscribe 1 minute, then you can chat. And I spelled then THEM instead of THEN. Again, so also I have in the notes a little bit more info about the town hall. Let's see if I can get that on the air. What? Oh, that brought up my website. So let me do this real quick here. Bring this up in the laptop. So this is the site you'll go to. So all you got to do is just fill this in, and in the comments say, I want to join the fireside chat or the Zoom tonight, and then I'll get an alert on my phone, and I'll send you a link before 5:30 tonight. So again, I hope you'll join me. That's been very well requested by a number of people, and I get asked all the time when we're going to do that. So that is tonight at 5:30. We're going to end right at about 10 after tonight, maybe quarter after, but we're going to do that tonight. I don't have a ton of things on the agenda tonight, just a couple things. If you saw the theme tonight, let me put that still image back on the screen, growing the new Media Mountain. And then I also want to talk a little bit about a new shooter type wireless device by Sennheiser that's been announced at NAB 2023, and I think it's going to be a great device. A lot of us are using things like the DJI mic kit or the Go Pro or the Go wireless sets, and I have a Rodecaster Pro. I do not have the Go wireless kit. There's a new kit that we've learned about, and again, Rode made lots of announcements at their NAB. So they have a new mini Rodecaster Pro, and then they have the new video streamer, 1-channel streamer, and it has pads. And then you have the new kit by Rode that lets you have a mic on the receiver and the transmitter, which is really cool. So you could vlog and have an interview and still be asking the questions and have it recorded in camera. And those are some really cool features. Again, but that's all using the 2.4 gigahertz bandwidth type thing. And that's just convoluted, especially if you're NAB. And so to go a different route, a more traditional route with the higher end wireless microphones, it's really important. And we talked last week why I bought that kit for a local church. I'm going to buy that kit for myself. I'm probably going to have the handheld kit and the on-camera kit because it is a little bit more reliable. You can get different kits from Sennheiser, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. But let's go into the comments and just say hi in the chat to everybody that's here. So let me get my mouse working here. Running out of desk space. There's my mouse on the screen. Isn't that cute? Okay, so let's go up here, say hi to Hank, who is in here nice and early. And yes, tonight's a double feature. So we don't do a post show anymore, but we're going to call the Zoom gathering a post show, even though it's not going to be live on the channel. It's not going to be recorded. So you attend that. You get to be a part of that. And if you're watching this already and it's after May 23rd, 2023, then start joining in on the live streams each week on Tuesday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time here on the West Coast in the state of Washington. And I live in the city of Richland, Washington. If you wonder where I'm located, I don't talk about that a lot, but right here in the state of Washington. And if you don't know where that is, it is in the southern western part of the state. It's all desert where I live, and you can see that's the real world out that window. So, and in a stream very soon, we're going to be outside for part of the live stream by the waterfall, using the streaming bridge back into the studio, and I'll have one of my cameras out there and my ATEM Mini Pro streaming into the studio to a streaming bridge through an Ethernet cable, so you guys can be with me out on the waterfall. And we have a little couple things I want to do out there. You'll see why I'm doing that at the waterfall when that hits in the very near future. So good to have you. Doug, it's great to have you as well. You got right up in the front row. That's pretty cool. Doug, I don't think I've heard from you about being in tonight's Zoom. So if you'd like to be in that Zoom, please let me know. Some people I sent an invite anyway, and then some I didn't. So I apologize for that. And again, if you join that, that's great. If you want to join it late, you can. Just make sure I get some kind of email and a message from you before the end of the live stream. And again, you can find that information right over there on my website, and that link is in the description tonight. So you can click on that. It's also up in the notes in the comments tonight, so you can click on that as well. And just fill out the form. If you've already filled this form out, I already have your email, then all I should have to do is search. So just make sure you send me an email, because I may not catch it in the comments tonight. So for whatever that's worth, I will do my absolute best to make sure all of you are in. Okay, so DJ Ware, it's good to have you. Again, go check these guys' channels out. Doug has a channel, so go see Forced Online, go see DJ Ware, go see Quick Tech Solutions. Great to have you here, Tony, tonight, as always. Not getting these up on the screen. So Hank in the house, Doug trying to get a front row seat, and DJ Ware's bringing the popcorn. It's good to have you here tonight, Tony. And then we have, let's see, anybody else in here? Let me scroll down. Lots of highs going on. And yeah, TVJ's in the house. He has a channel as well. He live streamed yesterday. I was on the road coming back from Spokane, so I missed that live. I did get a chance to watch a few minutes. I do usually TVJ's stream is something I watch on Wednesday mornings when I can't watch it live, but go over and check out his live stream. Changes are afoot. Not sure what that means, but you guys probably do. So let's see. Cool. Well, I appreciate that, Doug. Don't expect everybody to be in the Zoom, but I do expect me to make sure that those of you that are regulars get an invite, and you know that you have an open door to those. And again, it's really about us connecting. You see my face, I see your chats, like your chat right there. But the cool thing about doing the Zoom is we all get to be on the screen. You get to ask other people in the stream questions. And I'm working really hard to have a couple special guests in the next 3 months from now, so that you'll have some people on with me in Zoom as well. And I kind of planned that as we begin to creep towards the fall. So hopefully we'll have some special guests there. I have some contacts and different people because of my channel that have reached out to me. And I would love to have you guys get a chance to meet them and ask them questions as well. And we'll talk more about who those people are as those relationships develop. Okay, so let's talk a little bit again. I'm going to do this. Where is it at? Slideshow and me. So this is a picture. Last week, you guys know, if you were here on the live stream or if you watched it after it went live, that I had a microphone kit by Sennheiser. It's their new EWD kit, and it's wireless. Pretty powerful kit. I'll just pop this up here in the slide. So this is the kit, and you can see the handheld microphone. And I tried to hook it up and get it to link live, but I don't know if I was just tired. It was already linked. I was trying to relink it, and then it disconnected, and I didn't give you guys a really good sound test. But that's the kit I purchased. It cost right around $600 with the capsule that I got. It's a $100 capsule, and it has interchangeable capsules, and you can go see more about that last week. Here's the still image of the things that I unboxed last week. I unboxed that little tripod, and I unboxed the little charging station, little solar charging station. Then I also unboxed the Evolution Wireless Digital. Now, I love this digital kit, and I'll tell you why. It is super user-friendly, really easy to link up. There's an app that you can use on your phone. Bluetooth, you can connect to the wireless handheld mic or the lapel mic, whatever you have, and you can then change it and make signal changes. And then you can also use the app to connect to the receiver. So transmitter you can connect to, or the receiver, you can do updates from the app, and it makes it really intuitive. I tried to use it last week, but I'd never touched it before because, again, you have to have the wireless kit hooked up and out before you can play with those things. It makes no sense to use their demo because I want to know how to connect it, and I try to do those unboxings really live, so I didn't have any practice. But again, there is my buddy Drew Islander using the microphone for the very first time. So it was a kit for him. He's doing these coffee house gatherings. This gentleman right there works at Lowell's. He was doing an interview. He also interviewed two young ladies. And what they were doing is they were using the microphone not only to walk around and get questions and comments, but they're also using a wired microphone. And we were using a Behringer 62 channel or 16 channel little amplifier, and we were using the app on an iPad. And I'm not a big fan. I like analog buttons. Many of you guys will know that I'm old school, so I like to have buttons and knobs and all those things. But the wireless microphone sounded amazing. In fact, I could not believe how good out of the box that microphone sounded. And then Drew commented at the end of the night, he was holding on to it. And I said, so how did it work for you? And he goes, not only do I like it, he says, I like the weight. I just really, really enjoyed it. And so he has the microphone. I can't give you a sound check tonight, but I just wanted you guys to give you an update that that microphone performed flawlessly. We didn't have to change the connections, but I could have right from the app, and it just worked really, really well. And again, $699 for a really high quality, 135 dB of gain. That means that you can use this microphone with some of the nicest, highest quality capsules there are out there. Neumann even has a capsule that you can screw onto the end of that microphone. Because of the type gain structure it has, it is able to really perform, and that's been the challenge with wireless microphones all along. Sennheiser co-developed a whole new codec, so their digital analog transformation from your voice to analog signal through the wires, through wireless domain into the receiver, and then decoded. So back from digital to analog. So you have A to D, analog to digital conversion, and then digital to analog conversion on the other end. It's amazing. It sounds good. I was able to put my headphones in here, listen to it through my JBL speakers, listen to it through my headphones, and I absolutely love it. I was sold. And that's with the 835 capsule, the S capsule, and it's the least expensive capsule they have, and they only get better. In fact, that's a dynamic capsule. You can actually use a condenser capsule with this microphone. And my good friend, who's also a singer and a keyboard player, he used to be a lead singer in a band here locally, Jeremy, who works at the music store doing installs for large venues in our region. he said that he has the condenser capsule in that same kit and absolutely loves it. And he uses that microphone on his vocals every week because he does singing in a local church. And that's primarily where he's performing and singing now, but he used to travel all over with his band and sing. And I've heard him in live venues. He actually was the band that opened our recording studio years and years and years ago. So when we dedicated that recording studio to the artists locally in the Northwest, and what our purpose was to mentor and train up artists and provide a place for them to come in and learn recording. So they could come in and intern and record their own albums. They could be on the desk. They could set up microphones. We really were trying to educate the market in the local area in that studio, and it was a great joy. And Jeremy was there with his band singing and performing inside the studio, and it was pretty cool. So, okay, back into the chat here real quick, and we'll continue. It's good to have you, Cato FM. Hello from Denver, Colorado, and I got a chance to live in the Cherry Creek area and Denver, Colorado, back in like 1992 to 93-ish, 91 to 93-ish. So very familiar with that area. And then good to see you, Joe. Sorry you're late too, but thank you for joining us. Again, let me remind all of you guys that we are having that Zoom post show tonight at 5:30, which is a little over an hour. We're going to end tonight at 5:15, so I can get ready, send some last minute links. So if we've already communicated via email and you want to join me and you would like to be invited and you haven't already received that Zoom link, make sure that you go over to my website and fill out the form, and then say in the comments your message to me that you would like to join the Zoom. And you need to do that before 5:30 because I'll be busy hosting the Zoom. I do not have a producer. I am both the on-air person and the producer in the background, but we would love to have you join us. And yeah, 1932 is a little bit before my time, born in 1961, and yeah, 1993. So in 1993, I'm sure Denver, Colorado was quite a bit different, Cato, than it was today or is today. I haven't been back to Denver except for in the airport since then. I did fly into the airport to see some really good friends of ours. We had a 3-hour layover, so they drove to the airport. You know how far away the airport is from Denver, Colorado City proper nowadays, and but it's a big, beautiful airport. And if you have never been into the Denver airport, you should plan a layover if you do go there. It's an absolute beautiful, well-lit facility, and I think it's really great. So, okay, well, thanks for letting me know, Joe. You'll have to join us next quarter, and that will be fun to get everybody on. And I do understand people have responsibilities. That's why I'm trying to get it done before summer and then have the next one right after summer. So we'll probably do it like the first week of September so that everybody can just enjoy their June, July, and August and not have to worry about joining the Zoom with me. The other thing I want to say tonight, if you need a free consult and you haven't taken advantage of that, I've actually had some great times with people who reached out to me. We did a 1-hour free consult. I helped them solve their problem or ask their question, and that's pretty fulfilling and exciting for me. Other people became clients because I have a monthly program that people can sign up for, but I really do want to build the community, and that will be my segue to this. Let me get this slideshow in me. So again, that's Drew with that microphone, which is really cool. We will be together tonight in the Zoom town hall. So please use that link below if you want to join that town hall. Now, the picture's up there for a reason, because I want to talk about this topic. And if you saw the still image, this is the title of the still image tonight, Growing the New Media Mountain. And you can see some faces of some people here. This right here is Jeff. He is one of my clients. I was in Spokane yesterday. The picture was taken yesterday afternoon at about 4:15. I was in his studio giving him some hands-on training. And I drove up there for two reasons. Jeff, for many, many, many years, has been a counselor that I found back in 1999. For a number of reasons, I needed to just go probably work on me. So I did some research, found an organization up in northern Idaho. They recommended Jeff. I scheduled an appointment with him. We became friends. We had a lot of things in common. He's a musician. Upstairs in his counseling room, there's like 5 guitars, acoustic guitars. We've actually produced some music together in my studio. So we've been friends for a long time. He called me a while back and said he wanted to start live streaming and he wanted to do podcasting. So I mentored him, and you can see his desk there. I have some more pictures here I'm going to drop in right now because I'm out of media slots. But let's drop this one in over top of Jeff's picture. So that's his desk. You can see he's got a Rodecaster Pro version 1 there. A little better view of that desk, I think, in this photograph. So his son just built him an NZXT computer. I think he ordered it and then told him what to put in it. So it's actually faster than both mine and my son's NZXT computer. So he's got all the computer he could ever need. But again, he has the Rodecaster Pro. So we spent some time yesterday doing some podcasts together. So what we did is we played his intro video. I helped show him how to load it in to one of the pads, and we played it. Then he did some voiceover. I pretend I was a guest. We showed him how to Bluetooth in to his Rodecaster Pro. And the cool thing about that is that he has the SM7B microphone now. He's got a Elgato Keylight Air. He has a little Stream Deck, and it had his Elgato lights controls on them. And it was just really fun for me to go inside his studio. And so what I want to talk about tonight isn't just Jeff, one of my clients, but I've been able to help venues. I've been able to work with people that want to start podcasts, people that want to live stream, people that want to do both. I have people now that I've built relationships with over the last 6 or 7 months that are having me explain to them what they need to start a podcast, how they can get that podcast on the air. And obviously, I'm looking at some of the really cool new tools. I mean, we have the new USB and XLR microphone by Rode. I have the older version of this, and so this is a new microphone that I can recommend to some of the clients. And then if they really want to get crazy, there are lights like this. There's tools like this that are available from Rode. And I'm blasting these up because things are changing exponentially, right? New microphones with USB plugins we've talked about right here. This is a wireless boom mic or a wireless shotgun microphone, which is crazy that some of these things are available. So all around in coffee house venues with young adult gathering groups and in studios like Jeff's studio, where he has guests upstairs on a day-to-day basis because that's his business, right? He's got his counseling room upstairs. Well, he can now bring those people downstairs that want to, and they can do a podcast. They can begin to share some of the things that they've experienced. And you may be like me in that when I was younger, I wanted nothing to do with counseling, right? If I went to a counselor, I was admitting I had some kind of exponential problem, right? If I take my car, right, to get it worked on, have them change the oil filter, flush out my transmission, work on my tires, rotate my tires, the car has some kind of intrinsic problem, right? I mean, come on, if you have to go in and have the oil change and change the filter, the car is messed up, right? Everybody be saying, wow, your car must be really messed up. You changed the oil, you changed the filter. What's wrong with it? And obviously, guys, I'm making fun of that because I'm a firm believer that things are exponentially changing. That's my big word for tonight. And so not only is Blackmagic Design using the tools built into their cameras to now let them rotate so that they can shoot portrait, because portrait videos are exploding on the scenes. Wireless microphones are coming down in price, not just the 2.4 gigahertz ones, but now the really high-end microphone kits like Sennheiser and Shure. These kits are becoming less and less expensive, and even now, um, like Wireless Go is changing things. You've got these high-end microphones that have now USB interface, and this microphone now can use effects. So if you bring it into your computer through USB, it actually now can add vocal effects to it. So things are changing. Rode's adding live streaming tools to their setup. They're adding microphones that do all of these crazy things. So this this mountain that I'm talking about, that I feel like I have been helping build, right, is a complete different media mountain. So let me explain what that is. So a while back, I heard a pretty wise individual talk about how there's these places of influence in our world today. And like you have the influence of medicine, right? Science, medicine. You have arts, right? You have business, and business has a huge influence around the world. So does science, right? So does medicine, or the medical field, the arts field. Well, yeah, music, you have art, design, right? All of this stuff, and art is spilling over into the media realm. And so there's been this kind of traditional mountain of media, right? You've got all these different networks. Now it's exploding. I'm talking with clients in different countries that are starting their own media organizations, and they're actually streaming now. They have their own programs, and they're out there rubbing shoulders with other people that work with major networks. So it's as though in the world that we live in today, where is this? There is almost like a new media mountain springing up. And so this was from my trip. I went over with my dad to see my uncle, who was passing away of cancer. He's now gone, no longer with us. And I was with my dad on the trip back, and we stopped to get coffee and to do some shopping. And I got this picture of the mountain behind me. And then I started hearing this conversation about these different mountains. You got the mountain of, again, education, which, again, it's huge. If you just watch what's going on in the media right now about curriculum and people's concerns about education, both at the upper level, right? Not too long ago, LinkedIn purchased lynda.com. I learned tons about videography and photography by registering and signing up for a lynda.com account. And not too many years ago, LinkedIn decided to purchase lynda.com and absorb it, because they had a vision to educate people that could not afford, around the world, that could not afford to go to a 3-year, 4-year, 5-year college, right? Spend thousands of dollars in that realm of education, right? Which is on the mountain of education. That's just one way you can go. Now on this mountain, and we call them mountains because they're giant peaks of influence. And like every hemisphere has a mountain that's the highest mountain that's well known in that hemisphere. And so not only in the world we live in there are these giant mountains that far outreach all of the other mountains. There's also these areas of influence in our world, like science, like medication, like education, like the arts. And all of these mountains do have a huge influence. And many of the people that I work with are working in these realms of influence. They are people like Adam Tao, who I've met, who's designing apps like Mix Effect and is also now working with Zoom. So tonight when we're on our Zoom event, Adam Tao is one of the team now that's been brought in to help build Zoom and take it to the next level. You have Microsoft software. You have all of these things springing up, new technology, new web cameras. They're 4K now. We have 8K cameras that are available now. So this media mountain is not only growing, but there's almost like a new mountain called social media, YouTube, TikTok, all of these platforms, even new platforms being developed with the intent to let people have a free voice that they can go over in those platforms, so they don't have to be worried about what they put on the air on a platform like this, YouTube, or some platform like Facebook. So there's all of these new platforms being developed. And I'm not really talking tonight about politics or my opinion about, should something be on those networks or not. My conversation tonight is about this new mountain that's springing up. So I want you to imagine with me, as I go full screen here, with this mountain, and let's just change it to no graphic. But imagine if that wasn't there 15, 20 years ago. Like, there's mountains all around it, but this particular mountain wasn't even there. Because in reality, what we're talking about tonight, if you're my age, I'm 62, some of you are older, some of you are younger. But if we really were to talk about this landscape, the world that we're in, I could have been in this photo if we were talking about this media landscape, right? I could have been in a photo like that 15, 20 years ago, where the way I would be able to get another picture to a TV would be a camcorder and some cable running down to a splitter like I had to do years ago in about 1996. I hosted a big event, and we were expecting an overflow crowd, so I had to get a camcorder into the balcony, and I had to broadcast on a big screen TV in the lobby and then over in another overflow room, and they were all full. I had to figure out how to get audio in there. So we were running cables. Instead of monitors on the main stage, we took some of those outputs and put them in the lobby, put them in the overflow room. We had cables, TVs, extension cords everywhere, regular cable extension, not SDI and not HDMI. These are just long cables like you used to have come into the back of your cable TV, right? And so back 15, 20, 25, 30 years ago, it's almost as if that mountain wasn't even there. And now all of a sudden, here we are in 2023, and so much has changed that it really changes the way we think. It changes the way we do things. It changes the way some of us work. Some people are working from home. People are designing from home. Computers now aren't something you have to go to an office to get this mainframe computer and do your design work. You literally can do design work at home now. Now there's tools to where you can do virtual sets. You can have the sets move behind you, and 8K TVs are coming down more and more and more. And I just want to illustrate this, right? This screen behind me soon, one day, could be an 8K TV, right? Easily, it could be very soon an 8K TV, and I could put whatever I want back there. This is the history we're a part of. Right? Green screens. And it's still valuable. Green screens are valuable. I purchased this one from Elgato. I'm going to be using it in a number of things that we're doing, especially in my and Dominic's channel. But in reality, green screen very soon, in this gigantic world that we're in and how quick it's changing, very, very, very soon, we're going to see more and more things change. Now, that's just someone sitting in a coffee shop. We set up a sound system. Drew has a handheld microphone. This looks very, very normal to me. I was very comfortable in that environment. I've set up sound in venues like that. I was going to coffee houses when I was 15, 16 years old, listening to bands back east because coffee houses were very popular and musicians would travel and sing in these coffee houses. Usually it was acoustic. So a couple guys and a guitar, maybe a keyboard. But it was quite fascinating. But now you've got people that are going to a whole nother level. So you got guys like Jeff, who literally now, let me drop this image in because I deleted it. You got guys like Jeff and many of you that have home studios. Now, just a few years ago, Jeff wouldn't even think about this. He's not even into electronics. He builds planters for his wife. He's very creative. He designs and builds Frisbee golf courses. He's a rock star when he walks on the new Frisbee golf course that he designed in Spokane, the city. They raised the money. He told me yesterday, I walk out there and they treat me like I'm the mayor. He said, but I never thought I would be doing what you are helping me do, and that is be able to live stream and broadcast and do podcasting right there from his studio. So what happens is that takes Jeff out of that upper room that he's been just talking with people, and then some of the places that he has gone to speak, He even came into our region and did a bunch of meetings with people. But now he can then take all of this knowledge and all of his experience and all of his abilities and begin to build the education mountain, right? So many people are consuming online. And I know this kind of feels like, at least I'm starting to feel like I'm on a little hobby horse. But in reality, what I wanted to say tonight is this mountain of media is something I'm very passionate about. And I feel like it's partly my responsibility. And maybe some of you guys feel the same way, that you're educating people that are now going to this new media mountain source called social media through a number of different venues, as well as new venues springing up. And so now on your phone, I can consume videos and learn about products and watch people train me, like DJ Ware. You go to his site, or you go to Tony's site, you go to Jay's site, you're going to learn things about both the network siding things and then the broadcasting side of things. And you can consume that. It costs you nothing. You could actually, you could tell them thank you. You could use the links that they have, those channels that are monetized. You could support them. They may have groups that you can join. But the bottom line is things are changing so quickly in our world today, and they're getting less expensive, more available. And so now you have new tools just like this that are being announced by Sennheiser. That's the EW-DP kit. And this is actually one receiver, one transmitter, but they're stackable. They actually come with a magnet on the bottom, and you can stack them on top of each of there. So you can mount this to the top of your camera, and then you can stack another one on top of it if you want to have 2 people or 3 or 4. So you can have your tripod, and you can have 4 of these stacked up. Obviously, you're going to have to find a way to bring them in to your camera. And I'm just starting to do research, but it's fascinating to me that these tools are available. And it's another reason why I think the people and the relationships are so important. And I just want to spend a few more minutes, and then I want to open up for some comments and some questions and some feedback. But working with Dominic, who is 13 years old now, he's now doing some stop motion video design now in school. We're talking about getting him a iPad mini so he can do all of that on it. So he can use the camera and use the app on the iPad mini to do those projects. He and I are going to be working on his channel. And in reality, he just has always loved superheroes, right? When he come over to my house, he's playing with every type of little superhero you can imagine. He knows tons about DC. He knows tons about Marvel. He knows the characters that are anti-heroes, heroes. He knows all of that. I've been buying him these books every Christmas and birthday and characters. And now we're doing these high-end 1/6 scale figures. We'll probably get 5 maybe a year if it all goes well, because he has to save half the money. Maybe it'll grow as he gets older. But right now he's 13 years old, so he's mowing lawns, he's doing chores around the family, and he's saving money so he can pay half and then I pay half. And so these relationships with these people that we're meeting along the way and we're developing these relationships with, these are super important. So these Zoom meetings that we're able to have with people, these tools that some of these manufacturers are designing from feedback from us, that we hang out on that mountain. So we're having conversations. We're telling people what they need to change. New products are coming out that are cheaper, from things that will charge your phone to wireless microphone kits. You can see the Foldio 360 below the solar charger. So now you have intelligent turntables that you can literally use your iPhone with, and you can do rotation with this, video rotation, photo rotation, still photography. And then they have another larger piece that goes on it, DSLR or your smartphone. And this is all Bluetooth attachable. It also has the ability to read the infrared light from your camera. It's not compatible with all DSLRs, so check the Orange Monkey site. But again, and then you have backlighting built in because LEDs are becoming so inexpensive. It's just made of plastic. But I'm telling you, tools like this are game changers. And some of these things that were not even touchable years ago are now at our fingertips. The only thing that we need really to understand, it's worthless without people. We can't use it without influence. And I put a number of those words in the still image tonight. I just want to talk about those: people, tools, the training that goes in, the relationships, the vision it takes, the influence, the time, the willingness, the voice, the faith. I mean, sometimes when you do these great new things, right? You build something new. It takes faith, man. You got to believe that people are going to buy these tools when you create them. And you have to be sometimes timely. You have to be strategic. And sometimes you buy tools and you don't have a clue how to use them. It's so far over your head. That's where guys like me and channels like this come into play. And if I told you how many people have found me because of simple things like my HyperDoc video, but I meet new people through things like this. I had a flat tire in Dallas, Oregon the morning of the shoot, and I met a guy who's in my still image. There he is right here. That's Aaron on the bottom left. He works at Les Schwab in Dallas, Oregon. He agreed to be on camera. I have a video that I'm going to show later in this Zoom meeting of Aaron and I talking. He gave me a discount on the tires. He got me back on the road, and I go to Dallas frequently. I plan on continuing to invest in this relationship because I think things sometimes happen for a reason, and you never know what Aaron and I have in common besides tires. He's the guy that jumped in the truck and came over and filled up my tire. I followed him back to Les Schwab. I got 4 new tires on my car on my SUV that morning, and I had to head right back to the park to start the shoot. So the guys that I'm shooting for, I met when I was selling RVs. The guy that really recruited me was one of our managers. He's now a rep. And so these relationships are so important, and we've got to remember that we need to invest in them and not forget how valuable they are. And I think if we realize that we're a part of something bigger than ourselves, and we're meeting these people for reasons that we may not completely understand, right? I thought Jeff was just a counselor back in 1999. Now he's a friend. He's been in my house. He's also a client. I'm a client of his. It's crazy. There's guys on here tonight that have become friends of mine. So I say all this to say that I'm a firm believer that there's a new mountain coming up out of the ground all around us. It has huge influence. It can be seen around the world. In fact, this new mountain of media, in my personal opinion, if it matters, is far bigger than the original mountain has ever been. It's reaching more people. I mean, think about it now. You can literally buy a streaming bridge, and you could bring people in if they have an ATEM from anywhere in the world. All you have to do is have fast enough internet and have the tools on either end. And it's getting easier, right? Zoom, you can Zoom with anybody around the world. Microsoft Teams around the world. So it's just really, really fascinating. And I got really excited when I started hearing people talk about how important it is for us to be involved in these spheres of influence in our world today, because literally these spheres of influence are making a greater impact than we have any idea that they're making. So with that, I'll step off of that soapbox, but I do want to remind you guys that this is a new tool going to be available very soon. So check out the Sennheiser EWDP. I put a video. There's very little information about this on Sennheiser's site. It was announced at NAB 2023. And I put a link in the description of tonight's video if you'd like to go over and watch a YouTube video about it, see it up close, see them stack them on top of a camera. Then you can go check out someone else's video. I don't have one. I didn't go to NAB 2023, but I keep learning more and more from NAB. 2023. And I think there's a lot more change that was announced at 2023 NAB than we can even wrap our brains around. That's how fast this mountain's growing. So if you have any feedback or thoughts on that, let me jump into the chat. Let me hear what you guys are saying about this new media mountain. Do you agree with me that there is almost like there's a new mountain? It's not Fox, NBC, ABC, CBS, right? Obviously, then movie companies, right? You had Warner and all of these different Paramount movie companies, all were on that traditional mountain. Now think about how many people, how many different places have the ability to put a video out and millions of people see it in a matter of seconds. So positive influence in that realm is crucial because everybody has access to it. That's why they're trying to figure out if everybody should have access to it. And if everything someone wants to say or show or represent or film should be there. And should the world see those things? Those are questions that those of us that are helping build this new media mountain, if it's a brand new mountain or it's taken over the original mountain, makes no difference. It's just changing so quickly. And I'm 62. How much longer will I be able to influence? So this next generation, like Dominic, are crucial. So having these conversations with our grandkids, with our neighbors, with the people we work with, and have an intelligent conversation of how we can steward media around the world and here in the states that we represent, the countries that you represent around the world is so crucial. Okay, well, hi, Akil. It's good to have you. Thank you for joining me. I've been on my soapbox, but I wanted to talk about this tonight. I also want to get some face-to-face feedback when we get in the Zoom call. I have some announcements I'm going to make in the Zoom tonight. So if you'd like to be in the Zoom, once again, you can use the link in the description. It's going to take you to this page, which is my website. You're going to fill out this form and say you want to join the Zoom. I'll get an alert on my phone. And I may have to invite some people while we're live because it just depends on how many people are going to want to join that event. I'm going to look on my phone right now in my Wix app to see if I have any alerts. And so far I don't. So again, you can also shoot me an email. I'll check that as soon as I get off the air tonight. If you already have my email and say, Keith, hey, I want to invite you, I have the link ready to copy and paste into an email and send it to you. So again, I really want some feedback tonight. Do you think these new wireless tools, like the new Sennheiser kit, is something that you might be interested in? Is there something that jumped out to you at NAB 2023 or other tech events? Because NAB is the National Association of Broadcasters. There's a lot of other big events that go on in the spring and the summer. So is there something else that jumps out to you? I'd love to hear about that both tonight in the stream as well as in our Zoom conversation. In the Zoom, I'm going to give an update on Studio B and where we're at, what we're doing, what we're thinking, where that project's at, as well as some other things that are happening in my world. Then maybe give you a tour of anything in the studio during the Zoom. If you'd like to ask me any questions, I will be able to tether and go around the room and answer questions. I got the DJI mic ready. And so we'll do that when we get into the Zoom meeting. Okay, so I see two wireless mics there too. What are those there for? Two wireless mics there. Are we talking about, get my mouse over here again. Actually, let's do this real quick. Let me show you that video and the channel it's on. It's Walter Van Dusen. I just found it tonight. It's right there on the screen. So this is the wireless microphone. You guys can go check that out. That link is in the description to that video. So you basically have the M2 mic. There's an M4 mic. Those are plug into those are lavalier microphones that plug in. The M2 sounds pretty good. I've heard samples of it before. I've tested it before. I don't own one. I do have a high-end Rode lav microphone that I have for an old shooter kit that I've had around for a long time, and that microphone can be used. I have the Deity Pro microphone wireless lavs. If we're talking about this right here, this is the wireless kit that I bought, handheld microphone that I purchased for a local client that they're using to travel around with. It's in a Gator bag, which I showed last week, and that just has the handheld microphone. And then this is clipped from that very video because that's where I could find the information. And that's one receiver with one transmitter and one microphone. But if I scroll forward in this video, he's at the Sennheiser table covering this kit. And you guys can go check that out. I'm not going to play his video on the air. And there's other videos available on social media. So I'm not quite sure, Joe, what you are talking about in that question. So please let me know and I'll try to answer it. Okay, no feedback, no comments. Things are a little bit delayed. Keto is saying that he is a FM radio in Denver, and that's great. So perfect example of one more person that is joining me live quite often lately. There is the call letters up on the screen. And again, radio still has huge influence. FM, stereo has huge influence. A lot of talk shows are still being broadcast. You can buy time on those stations that run spots, and local broadcasting takes place. Local shows take place. Syndicated shows take place. And so radio still is something that people can receive. And it's quite influential, and radio is a part of that original media mountain that we're talking about, where YouTube would probably be a new version of something. And YouTube is so much different, right? That you and I can produce a short or a video and put it up there. Now they have podcasting on YouTube. So it's crazy that they went from video and now they're backing up to shorts. Now they're going to even podcast on their channel. So pretty incredible. Table is missing. The lighting is different. And only because I'm now on my EOS R and my Canon 5D is over here. And I think my EOS R is just a little dark tonight, mainly because I ran out of time setting up tonight. Many of you know last week I had a spill. I spilt my coffee. It got into my second ATEM Mini Extreme ISO. That sip is for some of you guys that love me taking a drink of coffee and looking back at the camera. And I had to tear things apart. Then I was on the road. I did a broadcast on Sunday morning. So I was running the show, headset, telling cameras what shot to take, counting down videos, all kinds of crazy stuff, way past what I would ever like to do. But I've sure learned a lot. And so my life in Spokane yesterday, so I'm just a little bit behind. So I apologize if the lighting's a bit off, Tony, because usually I'm the guy that has it dialed. And but for those of you that wonder if I ever don't have it dialed, there you go. Tonight it is not completely dialed, but always appreciate the feedback. Again, that was a comment from Tony earlier. Any other thoughts on this idea of the transformation that we're experiencing from just traditional audio to now we have this new version, new codec, new audio, 135 dB, the highest gain supposedly of all microphones wireless available with this kind of codec, very high-end codec, so you're not losing all the quality as it goes through the air. I mean, really, you have to listen to this microphone to really understand what I'm talking about. But do you agree? Is there a new mountain springing up? Are we in 2023 with all the craziness that we've experienced around the world? Is there like a new media influential mountain springing up in our world today that we may even be a part of tonight? Is it the same mountain? Is it merging? Are they playing friendly on the mountain? Are there some battles going on that mountain? One thing I 100% believe is that media has a huge influence. So does science. So does education, right? So does religion, which is one of the mountains. If you study it around the world, every type of religion you can imagine. So yeah, there's all these mountains, 7 of them they talk about that have huge influence in our world today. And many of us have occupations with other people that have the passion that took them to these peaks. And some people are on the very top, winning prizes for what they've contributed in that realm that they live in, from gold records for arts to Nobel prizes for vaccines, you name it. However you feel about those things, it doesn't change the fact that people have influence on those mountains. And sure, there's people that have influence because they work at Les Schwab, because people like me get flats, and there's different levels for sure, right? But those mountains do exist, I believe, and I'd love to get your feedback. Okay. Well, I promised some Q&A tonight. I rarely have time, so I'm going to put my DJ mic kit on the air here. You guys love the audio of this microphone. So I'm now on the DJI mic. It's quite hot. Let's bring it down. I'm now on the DJI mic, and obviously my voice is going to sound a little bit different. I can hear it if I put my headphones on. So here I am. But again, it may be a little bit more nasally. It may not be as eloquent and rich as the SM7B. Every microphone is a little different. But if there's something you want me to talk about here in the studio, if there is a question that I could answer, I would love to answer it. I'm going to fire up this camera while I'm waiting for you guys to ask me questions. And let me go to this view right here. One of the things that I rarely talk about is this device on my desk. This is the Rodecaster Pro version 2. I showed you the one that Jeff purchased. I had a Rodecaster Pro version 1. This thing is a workhorse. So if you'd like to ask me any questions about it, I actually have it on camera tonight, and we have about another 15 minutes before we go off the air for tonight's live. So things like the Rodecaster Pro version 2, I'd love to answer any questions about that. HyperDecks, Stream Decks, even the new kit that I got from Sideshow Effects, who I've been in contact with recently. They reached out to me through my website. They saw my new series on my channel, and so quite excited to actually meet them back channels through Zoom. That was fun, and we'll see where that relationship goes. But again, I love innovation, and so sometimes when you invest yourself in training people how to use that, and you toot other people's horns, sometimes it flows back to you. So any questions about anything in the studio, or do you guys just want to sit back and watch me sip my coffee and look back at the camera? While we're waiting. I'll put myself back on the 7B, SM7B Shure microphone. The Shure microphone SM7B has some different features on it. This is a dynamic microphone. It does need extra gain, and I wanted to say that the Rodecaster Pro version 2 has plenty of gain. There's some new devices. Check out Eric Judd's newest video on a new device that just came out. Freddie, shout out to Freddie tonight. He sent me that link over there. I still would recommend the Rodecaster Pro version 2 over that device. But Freddie, if you remember the name of that device and you're here, please drop that in the chat. So any questions tonight? Let me look on my phone because they come up faster on my phone than they do. I see David's here. Did I just lose the chat on my iPad? So here's a response from my question. TVJ says yes and no, so you agree and disagree. Firmly on the fence. I do agree with this statement, though. Yes and no. Since the dawn of media, content has always been king. People go where the content is, yeah. Right now, you can go look at some California paintings in a cave that people say is proof of a Bigfoot in the world. So that was media in its day, cave paintings, cave carvings, tree carvings, right? So yeah, people go where the information is. And so maybe that comments in regards to, is this a new media mountain? It'll be more interesting to hear from you personally, Jay, on that, if you want to expand. I heard for years radio is dead, and yet it continues. People say TV is dead, and yet we continue to operate. Yeah, I don't think TV is ever going to end. It's changing, right? People like reality TV a lot these days. They would rather see something really taking place than some made-up sitcom. I've heard people say, and again, that's creative writers, so that's artists writing these great shows. I love Eddie Munster. I love Batman 1966. I don't know what life would be without Burt Ward and Adam West running around in their tights, right? Again, so yeah, I don't think TV's going anywhere. I probably would cry if it did. Great to have you, Keith. Thank you for joining me. Sorry, Keith. David, thanks for joining me. He just got a new 32-bit Rode NT1. Yeah, 32-bit float is great, right? No peaking, lots of control, the widest type of bit ratio that typically you're going to see in audio. I've worked a lot with 24-bit, 196 kilohertz inside the studio. That was the high end that we would be using, probably both in broadcast as well as in recorded audio. And now you can get the NT1 microphone with 32-bit float. And that's a big deal. If you talk to audio guys, 32-bit float is like 4K, 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 4K. Now it's 8K. Every one of these different realms in the area of arts and media, people get excited about. I have a Wacom One tablet. People joke about it, make fun of me about that. That's fine, make fun of me. It's kind of the artist in me that why I got it. I can draw on it if I want to. I use it as a monitor in my live streams. I think it's an incredible little tool, came up for the artist industry, and they have high-end ones that cost thousands of dollars that people use to do design work. There's people right now writing and drawing on a Wacom tablet and other tablets around the world, and that's how they're doing magazine designs, all kinds of things. There's CAD programs where people are designing new automobiles. They're designing all kinds of things. There's scapes for video games. Mist, the organization Cyan, just released a new game called Firmament. I'm using the Steam engine. It's available to play for PC, Mac, and VR headsets, and it just was released this week. I've been following Cyan. They're out of Spokane since they started the first ever software before Mist. I was a gamer, so they have new technology in game design, and it's quite a game. To be honest with you, it's really cool, and the game design is pretty incredible. You walk around with this deal attached to your arm that can shoot out and control things and turn things, and then it can link things. It's going to be quite fun to play that game. I only started playing that game with my granddaughter last week. So lots of technology. I don't think TV is going anywhere soon. Also, David says he has the SM7B. Do you like the SM7B, David? I mean, what's the feedback that you get on your channel? Go check David's channel out and learn about photography. He's a great photographer. He's got great information on his channel. Lots of information about new lenses, new cameras, other products that come to his channel. What are your thoughts, David, on the SM7B? Do you have sound treatment in your studio? One panel. And then I have, let's see, can we tether? We can. We have a few minutes. Let's mouse around here. So I think right now output 2 is my or output 1 is my Mark III. Let's go to Apple TV. See if I can get this to tether. Helps if I hit tether and not remote control. So let's see if screen mirroring will show up here. Okay, I am tethered here. So let me just cut to, let's see, let me just cut to this channel, which is 4. So I have this sound blanket back there, David. It goes all the way over. This is a closet. I reinforced it behind that, but that's a sound blanket. Packing blanket goes all the way down the floor. And then I have that one panel there. And I added curtains there. And you would think, well, I'll do this slower. I have the curtains back there that gives me a little soundproofing, but no sound panels on the ceiling. Mainly sound right here behind the TV. And if I back up, it gives you a better view of that blanket back there. Sorry about the lights. I used to have a sound panel right there, but I like the clock better. And I do have one of my panels right there. I used to have one on either side, but it makes that corner piece look horrible. So again, no other sound panels. I do have carpet on the floor, which helps absorb some of the sound. That's my story, David, and I'm sticking to it. The new Studio B would have sound panels as part of the design. It's going to be a little bit more controlled environment because I would be bringing a lot of podcast clients into that space. We'll talk more about that in the Zoom. Yes, David says he likes the SM7B. And yes, I am planning to put lots of sound control in my new studio, including treatment in the walls that I'm building. So again, obviously, if you do sound treatment in the wall itself, right, the wall then vibrates different. You get a different sound frequency, and sheetrock has, if it's just on wood with insulation in the wall, it has one sound when you knock on it. If you treat it with green glue and put different size sheetrock, different size or isolation brackets, so it's not even attached directly to the 2x4s, or if you put metal studs in, they even make special acoustic metal studs. And so, yeah, again, I've done all of that in the past. I will definitely be, when you build walls, you just are smart to do soundproofing. So haven't decided yet what I'm going to do. My old walls in my recording studio were 12 inches thick because they had 2x6s in the wall. Both sides had isolation brackets, then 5/8 sheetrock, green glue, which is acoustic glue that you just squirt all over each piece of sheetrock, a whole tube, a whole giant tube. And I brought one to one of my live streams a while back. I have a tube left. And then you squirt that on a 4x8 sheet of sheetrock. It's smart if you do another size of sheetrock. So if you did 5/8, then you do like 1/2 inch. You screw that to it with the green glue in between. Each different size sheetrock vibrates at a different frequency, and then the green glue obviously dampens it. The isolation brackets keep it from transferring through the wall, so it's great for soundproofing a wall from sound coming in, but it also has a different type of what we call reflection as the sound bounces off of it. And so I don't know how deep, I'm not doing like high-end mastering recording. I don't know how deep I'll go down that rabbit trail, but I definitely will add some sound panels, which I build myself, and different types of density of fabrics inside of them. And I build some specifically for low frequencies, and I build others for different types of high frequencies. And then if you really want to isolate sounds, then you can keep it from even coming at you. So if sound hits a panel, they're designed to deflect it and make the sound just wash out. And those are the wood panels you've seen with different type woods, different angles. That's designed to just not let sound bounce directly back. And if you don't believe me, throw a rubber ball at it and watch how many different ways it bounces. That's exactly what sound waves do. Or if you throw a rubber ball at a wall that's flat, it bounces right back at you, and that confuses you. That's why I have sound blankets behind my JBL speakers, so I don't get bounce from that wall, bounce, and then confuse those frequencies with what's coming in there. But I do very little mixing in here for high-end projects. I have headphones as well, different types of headphones, M50s by Audio-Technica. And then I have these Sennheisers right here. These are HD 280 Pros. So those are the headphones I normally use when I'm doing headphone mixing. And there's obviously higher end headphones out there as well. Well, guys, it's almost time for us to wrap this up. So we have a 15-minute break to get ready for our Zoom meeting tonight. I do want to address any other questions that you might have. You had an opportunity to do some Q&A. Thank you, David, for being our Q&A guide tonight. I appreciate it. Your feedback as well. TVJ on radio from Keto FM. I appreciate that. So again, my journey is different than your journey. So a lot of what you hear on my channel obviously has been influenced by my journey. That's why it's called Life Journeys Productions. Producing other people's journeys now, which is why I have that name. But I've learned things on my journey. I'm still learning things every week. I'm learning about these Sennheiser microphones. I mean, yeah, I've spent probably 30 hours now doing research, and I'm recommending this microphone wireless kit for a client in the other side of the mountains for his church. I'm recommending this for this mobile kit. I want a kit for me traveling around, so I have the 2.4 gigahertz system, as well as something in the normal typical bandwidths. So pretty important. Everybody's journey is different. Thank you, David, again. Thank you, Kata, for your input as well. So again, if you want to join me, like I said earlier, there is a link in the description. Go on over to my website right there. Again, if you scroll up into the chat, you'll see links there. Fill out that form. Send me a little note that you would like to be invited to tonight's Zoom town hall. I don't know how many people are coming. We're going to be on probably a little bit less than an hour, hopefully. I'm prepared to share a little bit more about my my Studio B in that, as well as some changes going on in my business right now. And so I hope you'll join me for that Zoom. I can't invite you or send you the link unless I have your email. So fill out the form, say I want to join the Zoom, and I'll try to respond to it before we go live. And I will be trying to pay attention to any responses that I get during the Zoom so that you can pop in. And I already sent the link out. Many of you already have it. If you can't attend, that's fine. If there's someone I missed, go ahead and share the link with them. Please don't share it with someone that that hasn't been on the channel, that wouldn't have a clue what we're talking about. But if I missed it and you have that link, you're welcome to share that link as well with other people that have been in the live stream. So any last thoughts that you have, again, fill out that form. Any last comments that you have before we get ready for the Zoom? If not, I am going to roll out. Let me just check my phone because it gets your input quicker. The untether. Get back into YouTube here. Look in the chat. Yeah, all I see is the thank yous. So thank you guys for joining me. Sorry, the light's a little different. Thank you, obviously, every Tuesday for jumping in. Hopefully, we'll have some new things to play with next week in the live stream. I'm going to be having Dominic here this weekend, Memorial Weekend. I hope you guys have an amazing Memorial Weekend. Dominic and I are going to be doing some more shooting. We're going to do some editing for his new channel. If you don't know what that is, on the new channel I'm starting with my grandson, go to last week's live stream if you haven't watched it yet. He was with me live here in the studio, and we talked a little bit about what that channel is going to be all about. So, okay, I'll see you guys over in the Zoom. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope I'll see you then. If not, I hope I see you very soon here at Life Journey Production Studios in our Tuesday, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time live streams. Again, I'm Keith. This is Life Journey Production Studios, and I'm out. Outro.